and they sue.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone here for March 4th, 2024, 6:30. Actually, join me in a moment of silence for prayer. Follow the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and just to the Congress. That's correct.
Good evening. My name is John Claggett. I'm a resident of Caswell County. I reside at 108 J Lane, Providence, North Carolina. I thank you for this opportunity to speak publicly. I would like to remind this board to continue to refresh your memories with your current ethics policy, as well as Caswell County's current fraud, waste, and abuse policy. I would also like to remind this board that your constituents understand the difference between a reason and an excuse. I thank you for your time.
That's all the public comments in anyone else. Next on the agenda will be recognition. You want to have a recognition? Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda. Make a motion. Right, so the motion been moved and properly second. All in favor saying aye. All opposed, carried unanimous. Motion to approve the consent agenda. B, A, February 15, 2024 Junktown meeting minutes, and B, February 19, 2024 regular meeting. Need a motion to.
So moved.
Motion made by McFarland, second by Rick. All in favor saying aye. All opposed, carried unanimous. Discussing item, park and recreation walking track. Last Sunday, I got a call, and I've been getting calls, and I'm certain y'all getting too about that track. I decided to walk that track last Monday, it was raining, but I took my own drive and I walked that track. The asphalt's done busted up. Some places I ain't doing asphalt. We just sitting with a lawsuit if somebody falls there. My suggestion would be, I hope if somebody else will walk, would be closed down. That's just my suggestion. What's the plan to vote? I mean, it's been bad shape.
I think it would be a good idea to close it. I know with the rain and all, they haven't been able to do the pavement. And that is in the work, and I feel like we just need to close it until that.
That's in the budget already.
So I believe it's not in this year's budget. It is in our budget packet for next year. So I think the estimate's 39,000. The staff did highlight with yellow the trip hazards. I walked it too. I went with the park and rec director and the maintenance director. And then if you cut it short to make 1 mile 4 loops coming inside the tennis courts, it takes out those sections on the corner, and there's a couple sections that are pretty bad on that on the west side. We can put up signage to say, you know, the difference in the track distance. The plan looks good. the estimates look accurate, that's it, proposed budget item next year, we don't have that extra money this year in the budget with the current scheduled projects.
Where's the estimates running?
So the low bid that we had when they put the bids out is 39.9, right at 40,000.
Anybody else have
Can
a, this,
Can a portion of it be blocked off now and the remainder still be accessible?
So we can close down that side around the tennis courts when we come up from the building. They would have to walk. There's one lady while we were walking said she didn't like to walk the long ways to get to the walking trail. So it's a little, they're there to walk, but she didn't want to walk the other way to go. But yeah, we could shut down that side if that's what you determine we should do.
I guess my question would be, we got fall season and everything else starting at the wreck itself. How would you keep them off of the track?
Yeah, I mean, we could put up some barricade and say trail closed, but if they circumvent that and still walk around, I don't.
Scott, is this the part next to the tennis courts?
The section that's beyond that is, the paving's been taken out. So it is crushed rock. So that's not really a trip hazard. It's just not an overlay with pavement. The plan does call for fixing and correcting all the roots and all the bad areas. And then the overlay where it is bad, and then a complete reseal on the parts that are still good, crack fill and reseal. So that's the whole track, not just the sections that are bad. And it is one of the items in the coming budget. It's just one of the few that we've looked at already. We can make that happen if you choose to shut down that section. I think, we can get some barricades. I can say section closed. It's really hard to keep people off of that. If they want to choose to go in there,
well, I think that'd be one way we need to do it. We need to do something. We don't need to sit there and get it out other than we know it's wrong.
Okay.
We're gonna shut it down or we're gonna block it off half.
I think you probably want to block off the parts of it, 'cause I don't know how you're gonna shut the whole thing down if you've got kids out there playing baseball on all those fields. How you gonna stop them? Unless you just close the wreck off completely and you get ready to mess with it.
I mean, it is painted, so you can see the trip hazards. There's one hole that's pretty bad. We can put some cold patch in that. That doesn't last very long. It's a little better, but. I've walked it. It's not like a trip hazard. Everywhere you go, there's ADA issues in all communities, and because I think, to most people walking, they would see the hazards and walk around them, but the one person that did fall, it wasn't even on the trail. It was apparently going down to the building in the parking lot. So
Let's give the county manager a chance, let him see, block it off, what he's thinking, then we'll walk it again, like if you're not walk it again, and see if this is gonna be satisfied. So that's okay with the board? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, thank you. Okay, I have resolution for dog range roads. I think you got everybody but one.
No, I got everybody's signature. But you still have to make a motion to approve it.
Okay, need a motion to approve the dog range road resolution. Motion made by Ray, second.
Yeah.
Second by Rose, all in favor saying aye. All opposed, 39. And the manager, yeah, from Sharpsburg.
So the last meeting we held, we did hear from Wes Brinson. He's our Gallagher representative. We do need an affirmative vote. We haven't looked at other options with the healthcare because it is affordable and a good plan. So we do need to confirm that we're going to renew with them. That was due March 1st and they've extended it till tomorrow. So we need to reach out to them and I have to have a motion to approve to extend benefits. As far as who absorbs the cost, we did present the scenarios. I've had people call, and we did go through the different cost shares. It's staff's recommendation that, there's a lot of things with retention, pay, benefits. We're tier one pay. We are a smaller rural county. There's several potential hires that since I've been here, we've talked to, that when they find out the cost of the benefit plan, they just, it's disenfranchising. They don't, so for like a basic spouse coverage, just for medical, it's $800 a month. Family is $1,250 a month. So to put more burden on that, I think that's, going in the right direction to have retainage where we want to address pay and benefits for all staff. I just feel like this could be absorbed in our budget. You haven't gotten into budget yet. But a $30 million budget, the $100,000 at this point is something we could easily figure out and move forward. But I do think that's a concern. The cost. I don't know how we have to look at alternatives and some of the ways we can attract employees. But I would say that, retention and losing employees to hire new people, it's a constant revolving door, and it costs you more to do that than maybe to invest in some of the other things. So you do have the recommendation there. You do have the scenarios if it's 100% county, if it's 100% employee, or if it's a cost share split of 50-50. We could look at different cost share ratios, but I do need a motion to renew, and we can figure out, I'm gonna determine what the cost share should be tonight. You can do that. If you don't, that's okay. We can revisit that at a later date too. So, but I do need you to determine about the renewal, because, when they did go to this plan, the year that they did that, there was a 30% increase on the previous plan, which was more expensive than it is now. So I think, you're not gonna find another plan that's gonna compete with the group. I think, if the average is 2.5, you have to put that marker in your budget and say, we budget for 3% increase moving forward. That's just kind of the cost of having benefits. So that's our recommendation. If further questions, I know he was pretty thorough on explaining the plan and how it works and how they keep those costs low. I will tell you that in 2018, I tried to get on their list to be one of the first, and we didn't qualify because our costs and our outlays were not acceptable to them. So they are difficult to get into, but they also want to manage those claims. And we had claims last year, they paid out 102%. So there is a contingency and a backup reserve that we keep, and that's windowed down. So I think it's fair to. They think it's manageable to move forward with a 4.75% increase.
The board member having a question.
But all you need from us is approval to continue with this same group.
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily what the county's portion and the employee's portion will be. You don't need that tonight.
It would be nice to know for budget where that might sit, but yes, sir, that is correct.
Well, question for either you or finance. Looking at this, the current rate, employee pays $15. Am I looking at this right?
For the base.
For the base. Okay, if the employee absorbs all the increase, it goes to $47.71, which if my math is right, that's a $32.71 increase, correct? All right, looking down to the next one, if we split it 50-50, the employee's cost is only going up $10. How does that math work?
That's what I've been looking at, this y'all girls.
Because half of 32.71 is 16.35 and a half.
I'm not sure. They have two plans. They have the buy-up plan.
Yeah, but this is all base, what these numbers are.
Right.
And the same math is not adding up right on the next column either.
I think they just rounded them off. I mean, it's not I'm not sure why they trying to get the entire amount to be 4.75, so they're adjusting that out. These are just numbers that we got from them.
Oh, so they furnished.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But still, I don't get the math.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. And those are, is that the monthly rate?
It is a monthly cost, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's right. I think that's,
So if you take
yeah, that's.
He said though, it would be like, when he presented it, if the county was with the whole cost, it would be like $33 and something. Well, if you take and split to 50-50, their extra 10 and our extra 20 would make up like that 30. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
If for, I don't know if that's somehow how they're looking at it. I'm not sure either.
So they supplied all these numbers.
Yeah, they tried to do a comp ratio where it's roughly the 50% match. But it's the rounded offness, it's different as you get into the higher tiers and start having the different rates. For the rounding and trying to make it, I mean, the thing that jumps out to me is that you only have 2 employees. Well, there's 4 of us. There's only 4 employees in the entire county that insure their spouse. It's because the cost is extremely high. And only 8 employees and actually do their children. That seems weird with 250 some.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
since we don't have to have a definite number as far as what the county's portion, employees portion be, I make a motion that we stick with this same cut. We'll address the employee portion and the county portion during budget time.
we can much get a second. The motion been made that we stick to the county employee pay. And the next time, at budget time, we deal with the other. Y'all heard the motion and the question. All in favor saying aye, all opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I think they asked county manager to reach out to them and see if this is
Yeah,
correct.
double check it. They gave us about 12 sheets.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
there's a lot of. They're not all apples to apples.
Yeah.
So I think they just picked out 3 that were out of the different categories we were asking them to produce. We'll make sure that when we bring it back to you, that's accurate.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda be budget number 24, fiscal year budget amendment number 13. Mr. Jennifer,
well, speak from here, or do I need to?
I can read.
Okay.
You can do it.
Okay. So you have in your packet, budget amendment number 13, which this is for the sheriff's department. And you have your cover page, which gives you your background information. The sheriff's department applied for and received a grant for $100,972.30 from the state of North Carolina Department of Public Safety, the GCC, which is the Governor's Crime Commission. And the grant is to be used towards the prevention of domestic violence. There is an in-kind match from the county in the amount of $61,672.30. This is already budgeted in the fiscal year 24 budget, so no additional funds are required from the county. And basically what this means is the county, the sheriff's department is going to be providing service for domestic violence. And that service is valued at $61,672.30. So there's not actual cash matching from the county. They are providing service and they are using an existing officer, an investigator, to provide this service specifically for the prevention of domestic violence. And you'll notice that attached is a breakdown that the sheriff's department has provided to show you exactly which lines would be utilized for these funds. And it is the recommendation of staff that the grant has been reviewed and the budget amendment completed, and we recommend, if the board so chooses, to approve this.
No match from the county, right?
No cash match, no, sir.
Y'all heard the amendment coming from Ms. Jennifer. What's the pleasure of the vote?
Is this first year they've been awarded this grant, or is this second year?
This is the second year, I think.
And he's already got an officer for this.
Yes, sir. It's an investigator position.
Most of this is going towards salaries, I see.
Yes.
Examples of what they're doing.
Well. The grant, I think they specify specifically. I know that this particular grant in researching is really geared more towards, domestic violence with women. So I think that there will be some programming. This particular officer will probably be spending a lot of additional hours, not necessarily on other investigations within the sheriff's department, but specifically anything designated for domestic violence. But I can find out for sure any details, if you would like, from the sheriff.
But it's basically geared towards services to prevent this, working with the victim.
Yes. And I do know that it is a investigator that would be working with these individuals. So it's
And-
not just a,
And usually the victims' assistants, they usually have like resources, that are shelters, some of the connections they have specialized training to be able to provide our citizens with some of those outlets.
and they do work directly with family services.
It's coming from the state, but it's actually federal funds, correct?
Right.
Okay. From the, let's see, Department of Justice Office on Violence Against Women, so, okay.
Any more questions? Been voting this? The pledge of both.
Motion, we accept the grant.
You made the motion?
No,
You second?
Made the motion, she seconded.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Dixon, second by Ms. Green. Any questions? All in favor, saying aye. All opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Exit vote and committee appointments. One vacant, no, see here, application received, in shape of when. That's all I see.
Chairman, I make a motion to put Mr. Brand on the board of adjustment.
Motion made by Mr. Rose, second by Mr. Rick, all in favor, saying aye. All opposed? Yeah, Mr. Jacob will go, then we go to the vote, yes. And the manager update.
I did pass out, so IT provided the bids for the sound system at the old courthouse. I did want to point out that the low bid is just for sound system, so it doesn't have all the softwares and system to integrate it into this broadcast. So basically it's kind of like an amplifier speaker at each of this people's seats. The other two softwares, I wasn't here when they did that, but apparently the low bid on that was here, that did the presentation with you previously. That's still, we did get another bid today, and it's considerably higher, but it's almost an equivalent bid. So if you look at the bid originally, there's a lot of softwares. Anytime you buy any type of technical equipment, softwares, it takes proprietary licensing. It's not cheap just to buy equipment and put it on the web. So I think, it sounds like this will meet our needs. The IT department has reviewed it. They suggested that it looks like a good one. I know that you're anxious to get things rolling, so if you approve this bid, we'll contract tomorrow and get them scheduled as soon as they can get in and do the work. I do know that you were brought a budget amendment previously, is that right? So the monies have already been budgeted. So I would just need to, actually Kara's here if she has any input, but, I really don't have anything to add other than I have talked to our staff. They do suggest going with the low bid that's gonna work on the system. The other bid isn't gonna work with the licensing, putting it out, so that would just be for the commission and people in attendance to hear better, not the audience.
You talking about custom light and sound? The custom light and sound?
Yes, sir, the custom light and sound is, it's basically an amplification system.
But it won't tie into Zoom or anything like that.
No, sir.
This should be at $42,231.
Yes, sir.
Is this the people that came in and spoke to you?
Y'all had your bid and what's the pleasure to vote?
What was his time?
So when they came last time, they said it would be a few months. We're gonna reach out to them and hopefully they can move that up to as soon as possible. I don't have an ETA. Jason is out today, but we'll reach out to him tomorrow. We'll let him know it's urgent.
So we get a motion, did I get a motion on here? What's the pleasure, board?
What did we've done the budget amendment, haven't we?
We've not.
We have not.
No, sir,
We talked about it, but we want to be able to meet.
Right, and the amount that we had in the budget amendment was actually 42,425, so it was just a tiny bit more than what is listed here.
Do we get that do we get a refund on sales tax from the state? Do we get that money back for sales tax? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so it actually cost us 39,560.
Right.
And can you refresh me on the budget amendment? Do we have I remember asking you at the first meeting, it was discussed if you could find that money somewhere in the budget.
Right, and we were going to appropriate 37,000 from fund balance. And we were gonna move 5,000 out of the supply line for the commissioners. And the rest of it would be maintenance and repair. It would go into maintenance and repair for the building, which is the maintenance line.
$37 out of fund balance, correct?
Yes, sir. 37,425.
And the balance coming out of maintenance,
The balance coming out of the supply line for the commission.
5,000.
5,000, yes.
I thought we had a line item that said so many $1,000 left over, we took this money, we pledged it to this, sound system.
From the previous year, it was something that was, I remember that like was talking about, it was something from the previous year. You're right, Ms. Jeffers, I remember that too. It was something from the previous year.
That's that 37,425.
Okay.
It was already rolled into fund balance. So that 37,425 is actually from an account that was closed out from a previous project that was
That's what I'm talking
completed.
about.
And it was rolled into fund balance, yes, sir.
Okay.
So that's where the appropriation from fund balance would come from. Thank you for jogging my memory. That's right, yeah, it was another IT project that was finished. The leftover.
Well, we've gotten several bids and sound is atrocious and I think it's a good idea that this board moves forward.
Mr. Chairman, as bad as I hate to spend money. I'll have to agree, sound is terrible in that building and we're not getting any use out of it as is. So I move that we award the bid to Audio and Light, $42,231.28.
I second it. Give us that. Moving by second that we have closed the bid on $42,231.28. Y'all heard the motion. Any questions?
Do you want to roll that motion into the budget amendment since you're already clear on all the details? That way you don't have to bring it back yet again and explain it. It's already.
I'm good with that.
We go on with that. A minute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who seconded that? Let's agree with the second. Okay. All in favor saying aye. All opposed? Very good.
So I did want to say we, am I still on the budget, on the manager's report? We did attend the Thomas Day event last week. It was, we got to meet the First Lady, Governor Cooper's Road, and the family. It was a pretty nice event, actually, and I appreciate Commissioner Gwynn extending the invitation. I did want to, I don't want to poke there, but I did want to ask, by sending out the details on the mowers, are we still, do you want to hear about that or not?
Yeah, I got a couple questions about that, actually. The gator that they're proposing to buy, my understanding of the reason the Kubota was bought in the first place is that solid waste and maintenance department was going to share that. And it's been working fine. What's changed where they cannot continue to share that Kubota? What's the purpose of, I know you get a good deal on this gator, but you're still spending another $13,000 that we really should not be turning loose of for a luxury item. It's been working well up to this point. What's the problem?
So they do use that for snow operations, it's got a plow on the front of it. And I'm told that, you know, when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you have to go 2 miles up the Pelham Trail and every other day do the cleanouts, they, you know, it's hard to get equipment from another department at 2 o'clock in the morning when the alarms go off. It's in Park and Rec, so.
Well, Mr. County Manager, I have to kind of disagree with that because I spoke to the previous maintenance manager in the county and he said it worked fine when he was here. There was no problems with it. I'm trying to figure out what's changed to create a problem where we need to spend that money.
Apparently they have access issues, so. I can't answer that for you and they're not here tonight. I don't know who the old person was. But I do know, I've actually been out there. I know you can't get a truck or a vehicle up there.
Right, and thus is why the Kubota was bought to start with. That was an expense that was approved, but it was sold to the board and we're going to split it between solid waste and the maintenance department.
Sure, so I would just bring to your attention, I'm not big on splitting things with salaries, departments, because usually if one department like Park and Rec uses it for all the ball fields, it sounds great on paper to, you know, we're gonna share a car, but when I need to use the car, someone else has it. It appears to be an issue getting it when they've had issues in the past, is what I'm told.
That would be great if, you know, everybody that worked for the county had their own personal car. They wouldn't have to do any kind of bouncing back and forth, but that's not a legitimate reason to justify an expenditure of that magnitude for something that's been working well up to this point.
So I, you know, in talking to the department head, this is a remote location. They go out there all hours of the day and night and all weather. And I feel like we don't have adequate equipment, but I haven't had an opportunity to assess all of our equipment. I can assure you, you'll be seeing some budget requests this year from the departments that justify their uses and needs. I think not having access to something like that, when I would love to take y'all out on a tour of our facilities and walk you that trail and show you what is required of the heavy equipment they carry. And maybe that will sway your opinion, I don't know.
What cleanouts are they cleaning out?
So we maintain all of the sewer and water lines at Pelham. There's about a 2 mile easement. So we have to mow the easement and we have to clean out. So we actually own and operate that water from Danville. So when we have to clean those out, you have to clean out every single inlet. And it's a 2 mile span of utility.
What sewer lines up there?
That's
Sewer
The
lines.
one that comes from there's the center, it's really a grinder.
Okay.
There's a
It's not
lift,
just
yeah,
a
lift
clean
station with the grinder.
Which gets stopped periodically. I've been out there with them
Yeah,
before.
the maintenance on the grinders is, the last time they actually did it themselves in the maintenance department. You just have to budget. Those are not cheap items. When the grinder gets, you can't control what people put down the septic. The sewer lines, we just had last week, we had all 3 of our buildings. We had to get a jet truck out there because it's a constant issue with the sewer lines and
Right. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I guess my question is, how long have we had that grinder system out there and how long have they been doing that?
Ever since I've been on this new.
Pretty good while.
yeah,
I think we're facing a little more urgent things as far as this insurance than that. That's my opinion.
I suggest we put this off the budget time.
Yep. I can say that.
My suggestion.
I agree.
That's consent of the board.
Yes.
sounds good. I think that's all I have.
That's all you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner comments?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow is primary election day. I encourage all of you to get out and vote if you have not done so and tell your neighbors to do the same thing.
Just thank the ones that came tonight and wish more people would show interest in coming to the meetings and we'll go on.
Thank you.
Well, I go along with Frank saying, but I think that this sound system, I think a lot of people want to watch it on TV instead of having to come, so. That's one of the reasons I feel like spending that money would help the people in Castle County.
Quinn? You have anything?
I would just add on to what the county manager said earlier. We did a St. Thomas Day and you were there too. And it was a great turnout. It was very successful. They had food is set up everywhere and it was really great. And they unveiled the plaque that they had outside. And we got to watch his, I guess, 7th or 8th generation son doing some of the woodwork while we were there. So it was a great day.
I would echo that it's long overdue to get that sound system right at the old courthouse. It's probably some of the best money this board has spent. It's been an ongoing problem.
Okay. No more comments, then we'll move on. We have an announcement of upcoming event, March 9th, NAACP banquet, started 5:00 p.m. at the Campbell County Civic Center. Please, all of you, please come. Yes. Okay, March 18th, 2024, voting commission meeting at 6:30 p.m. at the Gun Library. So need a motion to go into closed session.
I give it a second.
You make the motion, you second.
He made a motion.
You moved and proper second and go into closed session. All of, you heard the motion, read any question? All in favor saying aye. All opposed, very unanimous.